Hello friends, I am That Bro Rick, and today we are ranking the new pals from the Palworld Feybreak update based on whether they are original or if they are a lawsuit waiting to happen. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for even more awesome content. Nightmary. Fox-like in its appearance, with a blue flame in hand and a flowing dress. I'm sure you could compare this to Delphox, maybe. A fox animal with fire in one of its hands, but that's where the similarities end. Sure, it has a blue flame, but it's definitely not Chandelure. Any similarities here would be a total stretch. This seems like a fairly original design with very little taken inspiration. I'd have to put this in the original design tier. Starryon, another horse pal with a similar design to Azurmane. This would be the pre-evolution if such a thing existed. It has a crest upon its head and a gemstone similar to that of Omascul. Sure, it's got a mane and hooves, but does that mean it looks like the Galarian Rapidash with its horn? There is a design choice here that does stand out though. This part of the mane that is over the eye, it does seem very familiar to that of Spectrier, which has an almost identical shape and length to it. Not to mention, the mane is also parted into locks. This pal has quite a few similarities to already existing designs. I'd say this is a lawsuit waiting to happen. Silvegis. Right off the bat, this tri-horn helmet seems very similar to that of Entei. Even the armor around its neck, it is very similar to that of Zamazenta. Probably a stretch, or maybe even Solgaleo. The gold trim and spikes, also again a stretch. I think this pal's design might be slightly inspired, but original enough to survive. I'd put this in the inspired by category. Smokie. With maybe similar ears and mane style to that of Ponyta, but with a similar texture to that of Palworld's own Daydream. To link this to any known Pokemon would be quite a stretch, and without any significantly familiar characteristics. Foxes and dogs do exist in the wild, so I would have to put this in the original design tier. Celesdir. I guess this is a deer rather than a horse, but there seems to be a lot of similar looking pals in this expansion. Sure, deer exist in the wild, but deer with two ribbon-like materials flowing from behind it seems awfully familiar to that of Suicune. This may be the most notable similarity. The rest of the design seems rather unique. The pants on each leg seem rather cool, and the golden horns and long flowing ears. Without the ribbons, this could have easily passed as original, but I would have to put this in the inspired by tier. Omascul. This bird is really unique in its design, like a cloaked bird with a gemstone upon its chest. It has two horn-like mounds on its head and a tail with 3 tips. I dare say I can't see any resemblances to any designs that already exist. I'd put this in the original design tier. Splatterina. This actually seems like a rather unique PAL design, with blade in one hand and a Harlequin type body. The only inspiration I could potentially see here is that of Marini and Toxapex, with their hair-like appendages. The flowing skirt and horns could also, at a stretch, be seen as similar to that of Kirlia, but that's very much a reach. I would put this in the original design tier. Tarantriss. An arachnid in appearance with what looks like it could be a character from Sonic as the head. This pal actually does have some similarities to that of Galvantula, most notably the feet themselves. The top of the legs, which appear to be somewhat furry with a spiked flower-like opening, does seem very familiar. There is also the pattern on the abdomen and fur-like spinnerets coming out the back. It's obviously based off a spider, but is it too similar to that of Galvantula? I'd put this in the danger zone tier just to be safe. Azurmane. You can't copyright a horse. They exist in real life. A lightning-themed horse with a metal piece on its forehead and lightning bolts on its hind legs might be a little similar to an already existing design. Blitzel and Zebrastrike, both with lightning bolts on their heads, a mane and lightning-shaped patterns over their body. Whilst this is a cool design, this may be a little too similar for Palworld to get away with. I'd put this in the lawsuit waiting to happen tier. Bastigor. I can't deny that this looks like Urshifu, a fighting type with some martial arts style. Even has a similar style material over its crotch area and some flared fur around the knees. Even the face, more specifically the mane, could be similar to that of Pyroar or Solgaleo, with the fur shooting outwards of the face. Because of the Urshifu similarities alone, I am putting this in the lawsuit waiting to happen tier. Prunelia. This pal does seem to be more inspired by Palworld's own previous designs. A pre-evolution to Lylene, maybe. A pal that does seem to be heavily inspired by another. So it is weird that this pal would look so similar to Kirlia. The arms crossed, the floating dress, the hair falling down to either side of its face. On its own, I'm sure this could have been considered an original design, but with Lylene and Gardevoir, this may also be a little too close for comfort. Based on all of that, I am putting this pal in the lawsuit waiting to happen tier. Nyafia. This foxy lady seems to have some significant features. The shoulder pads and the skirt, and even the pointy ears with more ears underneath them. Could this be mistaken for Braxton? It does have similar shoulder pads, a similar leg and skirt design too. Even the face has fur protruding from the cheeks. Whilst not a direct copy, this one might be somewhat close in design for the shoulder pads alone. I'd have to put this in the danger zone tier. Gildane. This is just a golden reskin of Suicune. The golden flowing mane, the patterns on the body, even the crest on its head. It is a beautiful pal, but I am definitely putting this in the lawsuit waiting to happen tier. Xenolord. This expansion's raid boss. Sure, it's a dragon. Sure, it's blue and black. Is it Mega Charizard X? Maybe. Does it have 3 fingers and 3 toes? Yes. It does have wings more akin to that of the Jetragon, another dragon pal, but I do see the similarities to Charizard. The stance is even the same. Maybe if Nintendo was having a bad day, sure. Put this in the lawsuit waiting to happen tier. Now, I am not an expert, nor do I claim to be. This is just a fun list of the similarities that I have found since playing. Whilst I do enjoy both Pokemon and Palworld and have sunk tons of hours into those games, I might be looking extra hard for similarities where there really aren't any. But maybe there are some that I have missed. If you've noticed any similarities in the new pals from this expansion, please do let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe for even more content. I'm ThatBritRick, and until next time.